Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about the initial symptoms that I experienced pre-MS diagnosis. So I just want to give a quick brief background to me at the time of when these symptoms were happening. So it was 12 years ago. I was living in my hometown of Oxford and I was working full-time. And I was leading a fairly active life. I enjoyed running and cycling. This particular day, I woke up and I was feeling great. And I rode a motorbike at the time, so I got all kitted up and I was coming down the stairs ready to go to work. But as I was coming down the stairs, I felt that there was something not quite right with my left leg. It felt numb and it felt like it was on fire, and at the time I thought it was a bit unusual, but I thought maybe it will just go off after a while. So I carried on with what I was doing and I got to work. In work I was talking to a few friends about it and they were saying that maybe I should go and see somebody, and during the day it just stayed the way it was. It didn't get any worse, it didn't get any better, it just kind of stayed as a constant numbness feeling. I still had full use of my leg, but it just felt very unusual. That particular day, on day one, I was also in the washroom and I was washing my hands and some water splashed up on my wrist. The sensation was extremely painful. So I really thought at that point that there was something a little bit more serious about this. So that night I took myself off to A&E, and I sat there for a couple of hours, but that particular evening was extremely busy. There was about a 7 to 8 hour waiting time. So I actually left that evening, went home, and decided that I would try again the next day. I got up the next morning. The feeling that I felt in my leg had spread into my left arm. So when I woke up that morning, it was almost like waking up and feeling like I'd slept on my arm funny. I had a feeling of pins and needles in my arm as well. It wasn't painful, and again I still had full use of my arm. So I got a lift into work that day and then I took myself off into A&E. I think I waited about 2 hours. They were really good. I was seen relatively quickly. They asked me to come in and I was sat on a bed and I had to get changed into a gown where they had to do some checks. The doctor had a tuning fork. The doctor basically prangs it on his hand and then they put it to your body to be able to see if you can feel those sensations and the vibrations. And I could, and that wasn't an issue. But the issue that I was actually having is the coldness of the tuning fork was causing me severe pain on my skin. So everywhere he put it on my left hand side, from kind of shoulder all the way down to kind of toe area, was very, very painful. They told me that they would arrange a MRI scan for me and that would be in the next couple of weeks. In that time and the following 2 weeks leading up to my MRI scan, I didn't have any change in my left arm and my left leg. It stayed the same and I didn't have any other symptoms at all. I wouldn't say that I was worried. I would say that I was probably a little bit concerned, but I was probably quite relieved and looking forward to the MRI scan and seeing what was going to be happening. I think that everybody, including my family, were putting it down to riding my bike because my bike's so heavy and I would be taking my bike in and out of my garden, and everybody just thought that I'd maybe pulled something in my back. So this was kind of the general thought process and nobody had any thought around MS at the time. I want to keep the story short, and my next video will be about the MRI scan and how that went. I do go on to have more severe symptoms as my MS progresses, and I will go on to explain these in more detail as my journey progresses through the channel. Please share your stories with me. I would love to hear them, and if I can help in any way, I will try to do so. I hope to see you next week, and I will see you then. So everybody, for now, take care.